And now, your reigning Esports World Cup champions, Esports! $1 million on the line, a legacy to forge and a champion to crown. So today is your only chance to make a first impression. Make it count. The first day of Free Fire in EWC Paris begin now!
How hard is it to claim the throne? To rise above and be the best.
With the final elimination, the Wonder Kid gets the job done.
And how hard is it to stay at the top?
Secret WAG rips away the Booyah and Viedo.
It requires strength, resilience, the ability to thrive under pressure. It requires consistency. And as the kingdom grows, so does the number of contenders. With familiar faces returning and entirely new forces knocking at the gates. But in the end, there can be only one king, one champion, and one Booyah. And no king rules forever.
ওয়াও জয় ওয়াও ওয়াও প্রিভিয়াস ইয়ারের আমরা সেই স্মৃতিগুলো দেখেছি, মেমোরিজগুলো দেখেছি, তার পাশাপাশি দেখেছি আমাদের ওয়াককে চ্যাম্পিয়ন হতে, আনলিশ করতে নিজেদের পাওয়ারফুল ডমিনেশনগুলো। বাট গতবার একটা জিনিস আবারও দেখেছি ভাইটালিটি থেকে, যে ভিটালিটি সেখানে গতবার আসলে স্লিপ করেছিল লাস্ট ম্যাচ অনেক ট্রাই করার পরেও, একটু ইমোশনাল কিছু দেখেছিলাম। বাট ওভারঅল এই জায়গায় বলতেই হয় যে এটাই ফ্রি ফায়ার স্পোর্টস ওয়ার্ল্ড কাপ আর কি।
এক্স্যাক্টলি, দেখা যাক কেমন হয় এবারের আসরের লড়াই। এবং সেক্ষেত্রে আমরা কিন্তু কিছুক্ষণ আগে স্টেজে অ্যানাউন্স হতে শুনেছি যে আজকেই প্রথম ম্যাচ, যেটা আমরা সবাই জানি। এবং সবচেয়ে ইন্টারেস্টিং ব্যাপার আসলে আজকের দিনে ম্যান্ডেটরি থিং, এবং সবাই যেটা বলছিলাম আমরা, যে প্রথম দিনের লড়াইটাই কিন্তু একটা বড় ইমপ্রেশন সেট করে একটা টিমের প্রতি। সো আজকের দিনের লড়াই 6টি ডিফারেন্ট ম্যাপে ম্যাচ হবে, বা ম্যাচ হবে 6টি ডিফারেন্ট ম্যাচ, যেখানে আমরা বাংলাদেশি টিম রয়েছে, ডিফারেন্ট রিজিয়নাল টিমগুলো রয়েছে, তাদেরকে ভালো পারফরমেন্স করার মধ্যে থেকেই হয়তো বা নতুন করে তাদেরকে চিনবো। এবং সেই সঙ্গে তো রয়েছেন টাইটেল ডিফেন্ডার যারা ইভোস ডিভাইন কিছুক্ষণ আগে স্টেজে উপস্থিত হলেন, তাদের সেই প্রিভিয়াস সিজনের টাইটেল এবং সঙ্গে যে টাইটেল গুলো রয়েছে সবগুলো নিয়ে তারা কিন্তু স্টেজ এন্ট্রি করেছেন। এবং এবারের আসরে আবার হয়তোবা সেই সকল ডাউট গুলোকে ক্রাশ করা।
Far, the winners that have been able to run away with it are winners who haven't been able to achieve much on the global final stage.
Yeah, it's really exciting when you think about that, because it's such a different moment, right? It's a different pawn, it's a different capability. And again, there are also, whispers about these new teams coming online. The differences in regional styles of play, whether or not you can adapt to that. That day one, trying to figure out, like you mentioned, right, the drop spots. Are we going to be taking the early fights, or are we going to be avoiding these teams? So those are the questions these teams are going to be asking themselves. Are you brave enough to take the gamble, or are you going to be playing safe the way till the end?
Absolutely. We just saw a little peek of AGAL. They have already shown their prowess in Clash Squad thus far, global finals champions, and recently at the Southeast Asian Clash Masters as well. But that's Clash Squad. In Battle Royale, they have been doing absolutely fine for themselves as well, right? Just very quickly climbing up the ladder, but they have not achieved a championship in BR for themselves just yet. Second at Sea Spring 26, second at even the Free Fire Max Asia Invitational, where we threw in a bunch of super teams from Southeast Asia up against the South Asian teams, where they also found dominance at.
Yeah, and I think that when you are in that situation, you are trying to think, okay, how exactly am I going to be matching up with these other players? Some of them are very, very new. I would say, sometimes people say, right, the younger players have a little bit more drive. They're hot-headed, they're hot-blooded. They want to go for these early fights.
Yeah.
But in this situation, when you go high risk, the high reward moments, if you lose it, you lose it all. And in this situation, you want to avoid being at the very bottom of that ladder. What can we do to make sure that we don't go super high risk and not overheat?
Well, if you do end up at the bottom today, the risk is there, but fairly low. Tomorrow, you definitely have to avoid it at all costs. But obviously, not every single team can do that. At the end of the day, you're going to have some winners. You're going to have some teams down at the bottom who are going to be at risk of relegation. But I'm looking at the rise of the underdogs here, mainly at the Esports World Cup, right? Because this is where dreams are made. And again, this guy, he dreamt for many, many years. I'm not so sure exactly what he's trying to do right now, but he's dreamt for many, many years. He's trying to think of a hand sign that he wants to flash on the screen the moment he gets a Booyah. And AJL is just the kind of squad who's capable of walking with a Booyah. And speaking of which, this is Group 8. Many have termed this group of death because of the number of titans that are in this group.
Right, and I think that when you think about group of death, there are so many situations that, you know, for me personally, I think last year we had this conversation, right? We were saying, hey, it's going to be the rise of the Brazilians this year, and we were knocked out of the park, and we were surprised, and it wasn't at all our expectations. Now for this year, the capability of that happening again, the favorites getting knocked out, is going to be happening. I would say is, because there are so many teams that we haven't dealt yet, we haven't seen quite yet on the bigger stages. Maybe regionally, we haven't seen their powers because maybe regionally wise, maybe they're not the best there. But some teams excel on the global stage, and that really, really surprises so many people, including us.
Yeah, exactly, right? So it's just such a interesting factor that the teams that perform well on the global final stage, the titans of our competition, just don't find a good run here at the Esports World Cup. You look at Buriram, you look at even AGAL, I mean, this is their third year here, and both of the Esports World Cup in 2024 and 2025, they've placed fifth.
Yes.
It's weird that they are not able to take a step forward, but the underdogs, on the other hand, they always manage to rise up to the occasion. I wonder what's the difference going to be like this time round, right? Because you look at the teams, yes, the teams have grown, yes, the mechanical skills of these players have definitely been sharpened up, but we also have to take a look at the meta. This is the season for the snipers to rise up to the occasion.
Yeah, the snipers have been buffed, and I think that what's really good about this as well, I think there were whispers about the Indonesian squads running that double sniper. Seeing that is going to be fun, but again, as we go into this first game, I am curious to see what exactly is going to be happening. Is it going to be double snipers? Is it going to be a different kind of meta? What do you think, AJ?
Well, I think everybody's going to be aiming for peak this time around because of the high tier loot zone, or it could also be a potential avoidance of these high tier loot zones for the underdogs of the competition, just so that they avoid early annihilation from these lobbies. But one thing's for sure, we're going to spot quite a number of hot drops because of the fact where we haven't built dominance on these compounds just yet. Day one is going to be a very messy day, and I think we already see a couple of hot drops out there.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a very interesting moment here, where we are looking at Mars, Electra, and Pochino is completely full of players. Circle coming up toward the middle central side there, so the rotations coming in from southern side is going to be fun to see, especially AGL from Sentosa.
Yeah, absolutely. So Gun Dynasty up against Aurora. And this is going to be a little tough for Gun Dynasty if they don't manage to overwhelm the Malaysian squad, who has been performing extremely well in the recent past. And you've also got the team of Team Apex Gaming from India. Now, speaking of Aurora and the players of GD, let's see if or not they'll be able to knock each other out or very safely avoid each other after picking off a couple of points. Azrael Mac 10 in hand for medkits, no glue walls, getting stuck in a battle could be deadly. But he does have the time turner on him, keeping the active skill alive. Let's see if or not they'll be able to engage well. Vega, on the other hand, already has the M82B in hand. Two players from the side of GD actually holding back. And David 444 moving on in, bringing the full squad for the attack. Jun's about to be in trouble here. David has the P90 as well, quickly avoids the engagement. And Aurora does not want a straightforward fight. A little mistake here from Azrael as he hops on into the battle. David won't find him, Zuez for the backup. And the back seven shines for the side of Aurora, but they've already lost 2-3 players down on the ground.
It's a chaotic moment here right now, and Juan also gets knocked down quickly. Shomi comes down and somehow steals it away. Aurora Gaming eliminated too soon, weren't able to tie down the last few moments. As we look over on this side, TAG cross GD will be waiting on the other side here, but they haven't been spotted out quite yet. If the rotation is good, I think that they may be able to come on to the screen right now as DRS is just completely annihilating PDX right now.
Yeah, Paradox up against DRS, 3 eliminations in hand. They started off really hot, but it looks like Paradox will have to back away from this equation here. Snipe with the VSS, gonna be standing by to distract the players of the Rail Soldiers. Was his buddy makes it away from the compound, looking for the revival on the rest of the Paradox squad. Alu and Pratik making sure they don't make a mistake here. The Valiant Dash takes down Snipe's defenses. They pick up their 4th point. A great start for DRS.
Yeah, DRS just walked up and just took the area like it's nobody's business. Snipe back into the game as Madara does get knocked down here. EVOS, he does try to make a move onto the enemy team on the other side here, but they weren't able to find an opening toward them. So DP does have the upper hand, drops down, but Apox knocked out of the game already, and the rest of the team completely collapsed as EVOS run away into the other compound here. They're trying to just crush them from different areas. Ray cannot hold on here. Rockstar does get a pick up of his own, but DP doing a great job of just annihilating EVOS.
Oh, it was a great start here from Demon's Pride, taking on the reigning defending champions in EVOS Divine, trying to take them out of the equation, but it's not going to be that easy. The White Tigers of Indonesia rising to the occasion, instant pickups from their side, and they turn the tables on Demon's Pride, showing them who the true demons of this competition are.
It's honestly insane because the start off was just so insane. Shot gets picked up by Falcons. Limit, a big pickup here already. Right timing to just catch him off guard before EVOS was even able to reposition.
Yeah, great positioning from Russia as far as the battle up against Demon's Pride was, but they did not expect Battle to drop by. And here comes Gun Dynasty yet again in another battle, but their prime play with David 444 down on the ground. But Team Apex Gaming needs a very early and up against the LATAM Giants.
Man, we already have 2 teams already out of the game, and EVOS in trouble as Falcons just clean up house, eliminated so quickly. Demon's Pride as well out of the game fairly soon, and these are the big hitting numbers. We talked about this in the pre-show about what we were sort of expecting to see from the big names.
Yeah, I mean, very messy game 1 on day 1 as expected here. Most of the teams just do not know what to expect from the others in terms of drop spot, in terms of rotation. They'll have to stay on their tippy toes and sneak around these compounds as best possible. And if that fails, we'll just go all out with their gunfights, just like what EVOS did earlier. But I'll have to say, Demon's Pride was not as a big a threat as Falcons. Peter with the car 98 takes down Aimbot. Kutush out of nowhere. TEC joining the party as well. 2 teams beating down the players on the side of EVOS Divine. The reigning defending champions might get taken out a tad bit too early here.
It's honestly insane. EVOS come back into the game, immediately gets completely annihilated. And now this side with Falcons on a rampage. Limits doing the damage on the player of DEC. The pressure is on, and DEC can't do anything about it.
Titans Esports Club, what do you have in you? Have your wings been clipped? The Red Hawks of the past have not been able to fly very far, but this time around, picking up some crucial early points. They do have the vending machine beside the final surviving player, but it looks like it's going to be a rough one as TEC bows out as well.
There's just so many things happening around the map right now as we're looking here. Loud and EVOS in one compound in the corner. GD trying to rotate into the zone as well as it's just slowly dwindling, but the northern side is hectic right now.
Rough fight here for GD. They take on the champions of the Esports World Cup 2024 in Falcons. The GD themselves, they're very sound in terms of mechanically able squad in the world of Free Fire. This battle is going to be a rough one for them. Now they're trying to sneak outside the compound of the blue zone here. They get scanned out by the binoculars as well. Kids does have a tad bit of information, but David 444, again, the most lethal player on the side of Gun Dynasty.
Oh, man.
Rushing on up, Racha versus David 444 is going to be a rough one for Racha, but they do have the electrotherapy on their side. Valiant Dash breaks down their defenses. Racha with the M519, but David again, lethal with the Mag 7, pops his head. Rega takes out On Fire, and Latam showing you exactly what they can do on the world stage.
This is crazy. That circle rotation meant that a lot of fights are going to be happening as this rotation comes through. Middle circle full in control of Cloud here as we look at the Falcons trying to find their way into the zone, and they're not stopping. That sniper is just doing so much damage in the hands of these players. Pina fired by GG already and quickly annihilated. Amazing work coming from the Limit alone as Vegeta comes through. Limit tries to find a pick-off here, and he's down and out!
Yeah, David got taken down once again, but he's the rusher. He's very aggressive, but the backup from Shiru, the backup from Blaine, it is absolutely perfect. Now, we used to see David 444 play for Juicy Esports on the Free Fire World Series USA, and the guy was lighting up the battlefield, recently acquired by Gun Dynasty for a good reason, to stomp down these squads out here at the Esports World Cup. Let's see how far they can go. But Falcons are not out of it just yet, completing their full revival spree here, back to a full squad. But can they loot up and be battle ready before the next circle?
Speaking of that as well, I mean, EVOS had so many close calls throughout this entire game. I think it was two times that they really got knocked out and somehow survived middle of the circle already as On Fire runs for his life. Cypher going in for that chase. Gonna try to stay alive, but he's clutched here as eventually gets taken down. AGL, one more to their name.
Yeah, On Fire just had no chance there in that situation. AGL just swooping on and spotting a little prey and showing that they can be a prime predator. But of course, there was a 2v1, a little bit of an unfair fight. Now, a team that has been keeping very quiet is Buriram. They've managed to build a lot of respect for these other squads, especially here on the Esports World Cup stage. Can this be their year? The third time here at EWC, and maybe the third time's the charm for the Thai squad.
Last movements now, we are seeing still DRS and PDX still very much outside the zone, really taking their time here. But DRS is slowly moving toward Pina, and it's making me a little bit nervous for them.
Loud. They definitely are a loud squad out there. Very constant organization on our global stage around the 2021-2023 timing. But they've been missing the past couple of years. Now back with a brand new roster. And On Fire, man, Falcons just can't catch a break, can they? Gun Dynasty showing them exactly who's going to be ruling these lobbies from the get-go. On Fire again. Just outnumbered the players on the side of Falcons. Yes, they did manage to run around getting those revives, but the team is spread out too thin on the battlefield.
Yeah, they weren't able to play together. In these situations, you know, you're seeing a lot of respect.
Oh, that's it.
As immediately Takuri finds Limit, and Falcons, that's it for them. Not able to come back into the game.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was just too broke. Even if he got to a vending machine, which is quite far in that situation, wouldn't have bring anyone back. He was looking for those coins, and Takuri found some coins out of him instead.
Yeah. Now, the southern side here is very interesting, AJ. Look at the amount of teams here. You have EVOS hanging out, PDX as well. I wouldn't be surprised if a big fight were to happen around here, and it's going to be fire, because GD right now is so comfortable northern side and alone.
Absolutely. 5 teams out of the equation already. Paradox still alive and kicking alongside the Rail Soldiers. Speaking of the Rail Soldiers, they drop into some hot soup and they're about to get cooked here if they don't walk away with some good elimination. Solex won't find Chiru. Vega taken out as well. Gaming shut down by Waka, and Loud interfering in this battle. Can they walk away as the best third party for day one, game one? Gun Dynasty with your final survivor. It's been a great run so far, but the vending machine a tad bit too far away from him.
Hard to really do anything in this situation. Buriram also coming into the zone as well. And in this situation here, DRS with the upper hand. Just because they have a bit more of a second.
Can he do it?
Area.
Nice. Tried to run away. Had the vehicle. got sniped, quickly hopped on out of it to play the recovery. Now going to be tanking the damage from the blue, but he's looking for the vending machine. He's got enough coins to bring the full squad back. All he needs to do is just run out of bullseye, but the problem is he's right in the middle of the bullseye of the crosshairs of the opposite teams who are looking for an extra point and an extra team to eliminate.
Looking at how PDX is moving here, they're just trying to find a way into the game here. PDX should probably come through into the peripherals of Loud as well. Now Rasha, big kill there onto a player, and even Sneaky somehow off the grid gets knocked out as well.
Let's see if or not AGAL can sneak on in. They're in a great position here, but just a tad bit too close to the edge of the current zone, which is moving aggressively. The problem is going to be DRS for AGL. As they try to rotate in, they do have a little bit of compound cover. But Gun Dynasty, full revive, clutch play. The squad is back, but the circle is small. Getting fished out of the skies is a big possibility here. Let's see how the luck is for the side of Gun Dynasty.
Interestingly enough as well, the rotations coming in. DRS very comfortable in the middle side area as well, as we see Snap getting knocked out here by Trap. Immediately is sent to the lobby, but Dakuri is the one that takes away that point.
Let's see exactly what the reigning defending champions Esports can do. It has been a rough start for them, but recovery has been solid for EVOS. Just 6 eliminations, not too high, but it's not about the number of eliminations for EVOS. They just want to get to that final circle, safe and sound, just like what Buriram is doing. And I feel like that is going to be the sound strategy if you want to get into the grand finals as well as walk away with the championship at the end of the day. The game has turned around. It's no longer about pure domination on eliminations. It's all about, can you get the booyah when you truly need it? And you got to start practicing early.
I agree with you. I think Brum United has always liked approach, right? They find that last possible moment, just really come in, steal away the booyah and those extra few points in the last few battles. We can see a few players taking a bit more damage in the rotations. GD comes through here, will cross past with DRS. BN is already at the bottom side. Even
Oh, David! Unfortunate for him. They have to pick him up. They have to defend David at all costs here. It's going to be tough. Nameless straight down. Moshi with a snipe from across. AWM solid. Paras taken out of the equation as well. AGL's scurrying around. Barely any points on their side. And as expected, the pressure is on as they try to look for the next circle. And they're going to make a wild rotation round to see if they can stab the players on the side of DRS as well as Gun Dynasty. But they're going to be pressured with all of the glue wall melted. This is Gun Dynasty from the outside. DRS from the high ground advantage up against them as well. On the opposite side, Loud doing a number on the rest of the players out there. Buriram fighting the players of AGL as well as EVOS. Things are getting messy.
Yeah, you knocked out its team wipe out so quickly as AGL is now out. DRS trying to find a way into the circle and stay alive. EVOS barely on, taking so much damage and pressure from other teams and the zone as well.
Danelle has kept the squad together so far for the side of Gun Dynasty, but can he continue to pull in more numbers for the team? They are in a great spot, but they also need to move on into the circle, and they've got a great position to attack DRS. EVOS Divine on the other hand, lightning zone right above their heads, and this is a classic play out of Gun Dynasty if we've ever seen one. And through the lightning zone, there is a big advantage here. Loud, on the other hand, just not stepping on out too much. They will take a little bit of hit from the lightning zone, but nothing that they want to worry about so far. Moshi with the snipe. He was still once again under pressure. But the pickups are instantaneous. They've got the haystack for the extra defense as well. But the angles from the rest of the squad just putting EVOS in a pinch and eliminating them from the lobby.
Yeah, EVOS is now out and down for the count as DRS rushes through into the safer zone here. Trying to find a way to stay alive and stay healthy. They do. As Loud trying to find a way to just really find an angle onto Grub United. We see some utilities coming out here, just really zone them away. But no one's making a move quite yet.
Not yet. Buriram, cool, calm, collected. Just taking advantage of any extra points they can find out there. Not getting too aggressive just yet. But now up against Gun Dynasty. Can we see Buriram shine, or will Gun Dynasty continue